Does Boogie's injury hurt the Lakers' title hopes?
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment or sound the alarm.
But sound it.
But sound the alarm, Laker faithful. You know, Greg, people here in Los Angeles was doing the Boogie fever when they signed him. They just thought, what a perfect scenario. Boogie needs to reestablish himself. He's had nothing but injuries, right? He comes to the Lakers, has a chance to help LeBron and AD, maybe get to the finals, maybe win a championship, and then people would be like, oh, he's back, this is great. And instead, you wind up losing this guy, probably won't play the entire year. This is a big blow to the Lakers because I think that they thought they had gotten lucky in being able to pick him up, especially after the Kawhi deal fell through and they had to put together a roster because they were holding out and Boogie was still available. We all know that Boogie Cousins, numbers-wise, when he's healthy, is as good as anybody. This guy was averaging 27 and 12.
What, 3 years ago?
Yes, but I'm just saying, when he's healthy.
He was healthy.
Right, when he's healthy, he's a great player. And he was on the verge in Sacramento of signing a big contract. That didn't happen. They wound up trading him in the last couple of years. And even this past year in the playoffs for Golden State. Remember, he came back from an injury, played well. In one game, gave them a lift. And then, of course, he got hurt again. But I think the Lakers are now a team that seems to be snake bitten. Because if you look at last year and this year, LeBron got hurt for the first time, missed time last year. Also, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. And don't forget, they have Anthony Davis now this year, who's missed 14 or more games, right, in 5 of his first 7 years in the NBA. So he's prone to be hurt as well. So when you start looking at all this stuff, you go, is this not just going to happen? LeBron's coming into year 17. This is a blow to the Lakers, and I think that they will not, N-O-T, have a shot at a championship without Boogie.
Not have a shot at the title?
Yes.
Because a role player got hurt. Okay,
Absolutely.
Greg Jennings, you're up.
This is not a blow to the Lakers' title hopes. This is a blow to Boogie Cousins. This is a huge blow.
So they
to
didn't
Boogie
need
Cousins.
him. They didn't need him at all.
Could they have used him? Of course. This is why you go out and you sign him on a 1-year deal worth $3.5 million, because you know the potential that is there of what we've seen. You mentioned it, of what he can provide when healthy. But defensively, would he have made them a better team? No. No. So when I'm looking at the landscape of the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm not at all concerned. I'm more concerned for Boogie and his personal status. But the Lakers, no, you acquired Anthony Davis. That was your primary goal this offseason. Get another guy in here alongside of LeBron James that can be a superstar, that when LeBron James is on the bench, you keep Anthony Davis in and you still feel really good about your chances. You feel good that this team is still going to be productive on both ends of the court. So Boogie Cousins, although he could be a great addition, that's what he would have been. He would have been an addition. And mind you, you have a young Kyle Kuzma who is definitely up and coming, a budding star in this league who is averaging 18 points. You add in a Boogie Cousins that's healthy, who is going to require more touches. That takes away from the growth progression of a Kyle Kuzma. So I'm not saying that I'm excited that Boogie Cousins got hurt, because that is not at all the case here. But it doesn't hurt them. It actually will probably help them.
I'm not buying that. You sound like the typical Lakers fan. And 2 years ago, when Paul George turned down LeBron, who wants Paul George?
No.
What has he ever won? Wait a minute. And then when Kawhi, of course, also didn't want to come, we don't need Kawhi anyway. We got AD.
Who needs Kawhi?
And now you signed Boogie, who had so much to prove and play for.
He did.
All right, he did. So you could have gotten lightning in a bottle where this guy's playing for his financial future and could have added so much to the Lakers. And now we don't really need Boogie. No.
The Warriors thought that he was going to be playing
when he played with them,
got hurt.
And when he played for them and they put him in the starting lineup, they kept winning. They were playing great.
Stop it.
They were playing great with
3, 4,
them.
5 years ago, DeMarcus Cousins was an awesome player.
They were playing well. Go look at the record when he was playing.
He played 30 games last year. He came back from injury, played 30 games, played well, got hurt again. Comes back, had the one good game in the final.
But he played well when he was in
as a
there.
role player.
16-8.
He did.
16-8 as a role player on a stacked team where he's not asked to do anything.
He's still putting up numbers.
But
and my point was, with the Lakers, don't act like you didn't need him.
Well, I'll tell you why they don't need him. It's coming. As Greg wisely said, this is a guy who doesn't play defense. What does their new coach, Frank Vogel, preach? He's a defensive-first guy.
So you had no problem with LeBron's 27, 8, and 8 with no defense?
No.
Did LeBron play defense last year?
Don't compare LeBron to
Did he play defense last year? I'm asking you.
And you've also forgotten the theme for the Lakers should have been last year, surround LeBron with shooters, okay? That's what he needed. He didn't have any. So what'd they do? They went out and got Danny Green. They go out and they get Avery Bradley. They go out and get Anthony Davis, who can play the 5. And Anthony Davis is the key to this injury because he's all along said, I don't want to play the 5. Well, Anthony Davis, I got some news for you, buddy. Hard choices, easy life, okay? You want easy choices? You got a hard life. He has always said, I want to play the 4. I don't want to bang with centers. That's not my thing. Hey, buddy, you got to bang with centers. You got to play the 5.
Lakers,
and they will be great with Anthony Davis at the 5, LeBron at the 4, and then the shooters. Cousins is a luxury coming off the bench. I feel bad for the guy.
A luxury for a team that didn't make the playoffs? Stop it.
He doesn't. Anthony Davis, let me clear this. He's better at the 4 position. He's not necessarily having to play the 5. If they so choose, they could put a JaVale McGee at the 5, who still can switch off. He can play smaller guys. He's athletic enough. We all know who JaVale McGee is, but he is a good player when he's in the right situation. And I think with these guys on the floor, JaVale McGee would fit in great. So to say that Anthony Davis has to play the 5, I don't think he has to play the 5. Will he need to?
Hold on.
Will he be asked to?
You're going to play JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and LeBron in a 3-and-D league?
What I'm saying is he doesn't have to play the 5, he being Anthony Davis, because you still have JaVale McGee on your roster.
I mean, I guess I can buy that. I don't see DeMarcus Cousins, if he were healthy, playing more than like 20 minutes a night with the Lakers.
I think he could have been a big addition, and I think that you're poo-pooing him, yes, and acting as if he didn't matter. The whole thing would have been, you don't know if you could have added him, and this guy, just say he was healthy for a change.
Which he hasn't been in 3 years.
I get it, but I'm saying that's why you roll the dice in hoping that, say he's healthy, and this guy turns back into the player. He's not that old. He's not like he's 35 years old. Turns back into something closer to what we used to see from Boogie Cousins. And then all of a sudden the Lakers have something that they got on the cheap and is able to help them get to a championship.
Can you explain to him that the Lakers' 3 best players, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kyle Kuzma.
Has Kyle Kuzma played in any big games in his career?
Not
just
yet.
Asking.
Not yet. But,
0.
But if you look at last year,
I like him.
You keep wanting to live in the past for Boogie Cousins. 2 and 3 and 4 years ago, he was a transcendent
big man. Are we saying 10 years ago or a couple years ago?
But again,
people get hurt. I get it.
This is his 3rd major injury in 2 years. How do you know he's
saying if he was healthy, they were counting on him more than to just come in and stand around for 20 minutes.
They were, but let's be honest. Like, coming off of that Achilles injury, like, we weren't expecting a ruptured Achilles. We're not expecting him to get back to where he once was. That is, if we look at Kevin Durant, like, it's going to be a long road for him to get back to where he once was. No one's going to think all of us, the moment he steps back on the court, Kevin Durant is going to be 1, 2, 3 best player in the NBA.
Was Boogie playing in that game, or was he standing on the sidelines? That where he got hurt. Was he playing?
Yeah. By the way, who was he playing against in that game?
No, but
let me ask.
My point is that he was progressing to get back out there and be a cog for the Lakers.
Rob,
he wasn't on the sideline.
If Boogie Cousins was so good, how come the other 29 teams barely look?
I just told you what he needs to do is reestablish himself. That gave him incentive to play hard, to play well, to prove that he deserves. This is a guy who lost $200 million in a deal. He's playing for his NBA life.
I agree with that.
He's playing. That's what.
But he could have done that in any other city.
No, but that's the great guy you want to have. Somebody who's playing for something, who's trying to prove that he still belongs and could be that player.
I agree with that. The same could be said last year when he was with the Warriors.
And he played well with them, Greg, until he got hurt.
So if you're bringing a guy like this on, you're not oblivious to the fact that of his history. Like, he's been hurt.
Greg, when he came back,
you automatically assume moving forward, if we don't have him, are we able to sustain and can we still reach our goals? You're not plugging in Boogie Cousins saying, man, Boogie Cousins is here.
20
We're
and 10,
good.
baby.
No, and you mentioned something earlier in one of your comments. You said, the Lakers weren't going to be expecting him to play big minutes. I 100% agree with that. Boogie Cousins is not a guy that you're going to put on the court for 35-plus minutes, 32-plus
Nobody
minutes.
said 35. They could be effective minutes in my
They
point.
can't.
So
they
how
can't-
are the title hopes killed? Look at the screen. Does Boogie's injury kill the Lakers' title hopes? You said yes. A guy who's playing 18 minutes a night, the fourth best guy at best on the team, is killing their title.
They were looking for him to have where he could reset his career, where he could come back and be better than he was. So here we are. Last year, when he came to the Warriors, right? Did they put him on the end of the bench, or did they start him with the Warriors? Where
They
did he play?
started him.
Why? Because they think that they could get something. He started. He wasn't a end of the bench player.
We're not saying he's a terrible player.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, acting like he didn't play. He didn't start for the Warriors.
Yeah,
Rob, you're
started.
saying that the title hopes are over. So you're telling me that LeBron is concerned right now?
Yeah.
LeBron is concerned.
LeBron is at the barbershop right now in tears.
LeBron lost sleep last night over there.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.